it's Mish. Welcome back to my channel where I like to bring you guys along with me as I navigate my faith, fitness, and financial journeys. So today is day 8 of the 21-day financial fast that I've been on, where I'm posting a video every day from November 1st to November 21st. So today's chapter was all about savings, and savings is one of those things where I feel it's a necessity. However, people always don't prioritize it as much as they should. So before I get into the nitty-gritty of things, I just want to say that there'll be some additional notes down in the description box, so be sure to check that out. So when it comes to saving, one of the things that I learned in the personal finance class I took not too long ago was just about reverse saving. So pretty much you have your checking account deposited into your savings account, and then you only take out what's necessary. In reality, you're supposed to save more money that way versus having your money deposited into your checking account and then transferring money over to your savings. So what I like about savings in general is just that it's a safety net. So my own personal opinion, I do feel that everybody should have a $1,000 emergency fund. This is a concept that I got from Dave Ramsey and his Total Money Makeover. So I refer back to this book periodically here. I think it has some gems inside of it. And I also know that around the holidays, he does sell that book for $10. But the reason I say this is because life is going to happen regardless. And I feel that it's nice to have a little bit of a cushion so that you don't have to endure the impact as much as you would if you didn't have those funds available. And I always tell people, at the end of the day, our goal is to be able to minimize the impact that inconveniences have on us. And savings, to me, is something that should be automated. I feel when you have things automated, it takes out the guesswork of things. You can always go back and change how much you're actually automating, but at least you don't have to think about it and be like, oh dang, I forgot to do this. Because oftentimes people will spend all they have and be like, dang, I only got, this to save, versus if they had put that money away to begin with, they would have made do with what they actually have left. So one of the other things that I want to talk about in regards to saving is just contribute something. It could be $5, it could be $10, it could be $20, whatever you can afford to contribute, I say contribute. So when I first started off on my savings journey, I had got a high yield savings account with American Express. I know Ally has some really good rates as well as far as the APY. I think you can go on bankrates.com to see all these different banks and what their current APYs are for these accounts. So these accounts, like high yield savings accounts, tend to be a little bit higher because they are strictly online, and they can afford to give you a higher APYs because they don't have a brick and mortar and they don't have to pay employees to come into a brick and mortar every day. And one day you look up and you're just like, oh wow, I have $1,500 saved, and I've never saved $1,500. So things talked about in the chapter, she talks about an emergency fund, which is 3 to 6 months of living expenses. And then she also talks about a life happens fund. So her life happens fund happens to be at the mark of $1,000, and then the larger amount will go into the emergency fund, which is if you happen to lose your job or something like that, where it's going to take a while for you to get back in the work field. So every time I read this, I always contemplate like, oh, okay, like, am I going to establish a life happens fund? I have about 4 different banking companies that I actually bank with, and I'll list a video up front about what those different accounts do for me and why I have those. But I feel maybe my traditional savings account is a life happens account. Not too much interest is getting put into those accounts, but it's something that's easily accessible that I have between my 2 banks. So technically, I guess it would be $2,000 that would be available when I have those counts at the account minimums. I don't have that right now because I withdrew quite a bit of the money in both of those accounts to go towards debt. But it's things that you have to prioritize. Whatever you tend to make a priority in your life, your actions will follow behind that, because that's the driving force behind you. And one of the things that I really hate is for life to happen and you're already not, in the best situation, to get pushed further back. I feel that dampens your spirit. It puts undue stress on you and could be prevented in some instances. And I know some people are just like, oh my gosh, like I don't have any money to my name. I can't afford to put anything away. But then when you sit and you look at your expenses, maybe you're spending an extra $10 over here on something. And you're saying like, well, what is $10? Well, if you put $10 away each pay period, you have $20. And then before you know it, you'll be at $500 and you'll be at that $1,000. And I feel money being in the high yield savings account deters you from doing certain things. But I know when I first started off, I literally was just contributing like $10. And it was something that I didn't even notice being taken out of my check. And then finally I was just like, yo, like, what am I doing? Like, I'm spending this on this, that, and the other. I should be contributing this amount of money to there. So future goals for me is to be in that 15 to 20% range, but I am in a season of paying off debt. So that's something that hopefully about second quarter next year, I will put a little bit more effort into making sure that those numbers align. But let me know, what type of accounts do you have your savings in? The traditional account? Is it a money market account? Is it a high yield savings account? Do you like to keep your money in CDs? Like, where do you like to place your money for your actual savings? As usual, guys, I want to thank you so much for taking time out of your day to watch my video. And as usual, take time to enjoy your own journey, and I will catch you guys in the comments into the next video. Bye.